Hives. It's 9 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my office. Not joking. So, look, first of all, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm going to be battling with this daggone thing the entire time that we're on here. So, forgive me. Um, I made a vow to myself that every day at 3 o'clock, I would stop work and work out. And I still have my sports bra on, and it's annoying the hell out of me. But that's not why we're here. So let me stop being distracted and let's get into that. Hey, Patterns of Possibility. Thank you for joining me here on Instagram. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. How do you do? Welcome to another amazing episode of Sex, Love, Marriage, where we talk about all things what? Sex, love, and marriage. Duh. Of course, tonight we have another great topic. This one, I think, goes to it should hit home with those who are in relationships for at minimum 5 years and up, but it will ring true for relationships that are in that 3 to 5 year mark. And those who are in the under 3 year mark should really pay attention to this one because it is some great prerequisite information. You like how I threw that big word out there, right? At 9 o'clock at night, too, at the end of a business day, psh, I'm doing good. So, anyway, for anyone who has never been here before, who's never seen me, don't know who in the world I am, welcome. I am your favorite life coach and certified clinical sexologist, Coach K, where I am the owner and founder, CEO of Love and Intimacy 101. Why 101? Because we need to get back to the basics. I work with women and I work with couples on improving intimacy for a more fulfilled sex life and sexual experiences. Hey, Esther for that joins. How you doing? So tonight's topic is when effort turns into expectation. This is a big one, and I'll even give you some examples, some personal examples to help it relate. I try to do that every single time. The caption that I put on I said the Instagram. Oh my gosh, I said the Instagram. Y'all don't clown me on that. So the example I gave on Instagram is how when we get into relationships, we always want to put our best foot forward. We want to go usually above and beyond to show that other person that we're really into them. We want to show them all of what we have to offer. We want to just shower them with everything. We want to do all kinds of amazing things. And then we get into this ongoing phase, and it seems like things change or fizzle out. And then you get, if you looked at the thumbnail that I use, there is a guy in the corner that says, "Where's my dot, dot, dot? Why haven't you dot, dot, dot?" And then there's a woman in the top corner, and she's saying, "You used to dot, dot, dot. And you haven't blanked. You have, excuse me, dot, 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 and da, da, da." So these are the expectation statements. Of course, there are many more, but these are the expectation statements that these two parties are making. And they're saying this in a way of, hey, where is my blah? And I'll give you an example. When you meet your person and you are dating, and you like to show off your cooking skills, so you make sure that you fix meals. So you're cooking, you are in there Chef Ramsay in it up, you are like Food Network aholic, you throwing in all kinds of seasoning, you getting in touch with grandma and mama, like, hey, tell me how you make X, Y, and Z, and you putting it all the way down. Or you're putting on the sexy lingerie. Men and women, let's not just put this on one side, because men dress up in sexy lingerie as well. I don't care what you want to call it, but you get yourself, you put on your smell good. You want to make sure that when you're laying in the bed, you just pose right. You want to make yourself readily available for that sexual tension to build up and let it happen. So you're making sure that you are putting in effort to show your partner all the things that you are capable of providing in a relationship. Let's say about 3 years in, life has started to happen. You're building this amazing relationship. Life is happening 3 years in, and maybe you're not cooking as much, right? So instead of cooking 5 days a week, you're cooking 2 to 3 days a week. Well, the person who was getting those meals is looking like, okay, so since we done became an item, you don't cook no more. But the issue is usually the person who I just made that statement about does not verbalize that. It comes through in actions. Usually, I don't like to speak definite because without knowing someone's specific relationship, I'm always speaking in general terms. So usually it comes out in the actions. It comes out in the snide remarks. It comes out in the cheap shots that we like to throw at each other. And that begins to chip away at the other person, the one that used to cook, because now they're feeling like, okay, you talking shit about me, but I work every day just like you work every day. If there are children, I take care of the children just like you take care of the children. Why can't you cook the other 3 days of, other 2 days of the week or whatever it is? So that effort that you were putting in at the beginning of the relationship became the expectation of the other party. And this happens quite frequently. It happens throughout your entire life, not just in adulthood. This is something that we've adopted and we've grown in from childhood, from small on up. When we get nice things, when we have the family members that comes to visit, and every single time they come to visit, they bring you a gift. And so at 10 years old, when they come to visit and they don't have a gift, you're looking at them sideways. You probably don't even come up there and speak because you're now having this attitude because they did not bring you said gift. Well, their effort became that child's expectation. And now that they are not getting what they expect, their feelings are hurt or they're upset or they feel like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? And so all of these imaginary things start to get built up in their head and they're not able to communicate that out. We take that and we transfer that directly into adulthood, sadly enough. And I'm pretty sure that it's this conversation, if it has not already happened by someone else, is when you're having that revelation of, oh my gosh, I can think of a time where this has absolutely happened. The important part about that effort that you are making, in order for it to not become a pain point later on in the relationship, is to simply make it very clear what it is that your intentions are with this. When you meet somebody and you want to go above and beyond, you can be very clear. Look, I don't usually cook, but I want to cook for you. What is it that you like? Or incorporate them in that. Say you cook by yourself twice, you wine and dine them twice. The third time, bring them in on the effort. So now we're putting an effort together without expectation. That's going to be the key piece, is to leave expectation at the door. That expectation will end a relationship like that. Someone's effort should never become your expectation. Bottom line. There is a section here in this book that's called The 5 Characteristics of a Stimulating Relationship. And the very first section is not the first section, but there is an exploration and there is a surprise me section in there. that if you read those, they are great ways of showing you how to actually make it clear that, hey, this is just this is just a one off or a two off, or I want to show you how special you are, I want to do this thing. The example that I'll use, and I don't mind using these examples, is because me and my husband, we talk a lot. I cannot stress this to you guys enough. Communicate, communicate, communicate. I have always had an office job. Since May 2020, I have not worked well, I haven't worked for anyone, because thanks to my husband, I'm able to just focus on growing my businesses. So now that I'm not in someone else's office, I have my own office. I have a little bit more flexibility. Well, my husband, he drives big truck during the day. He's home every night, so I love it. But during the day, he's just on the road driving. And so he's not doing anything. Sometimes he listens to YouTube music, but how much music and YouTube can you listen to for 12 to 16 hours a day? And so when I realized that, I would want to call and communicate and be on the phone. Oh, you're fine. Um, but what I found was it hindered the work that I was doing. And so I weaned back a little bit. Well, when I started to wean back, I noticed my husband's attitude change. It wasn't mean, it wasn't aggressive, but I know it was a change in his attitude. And so I asked, hey, what's going on? And usually he starts with nothing. And I'll let you have this for about 20 minutes of nothing because I know it's something. And he made it clear. He said, I just miss you during the day. I can't talk to you like I want to. And what he used to say was, I know you don't want to talk to me, but when he would call. And I said, hey, here is what it is. And I laid out exactly why we don't talk during the day. I let him know that when I talk to you, I'm not able to create different things. Like my mind has to be free and clear. And when I get a phone call, it interrupts my thought flow and process. And I did let him know, there are some times where I have like 10 minutes of downtime, but I resist calling because I know that within 8 minutes of calling, I'm going to have to get off the phone, which will restart that cycle of him wanting to talk to me. And so, because we were able to have that communication, his expectation of being able to talk to me all day long got thrown away. He was able to throw that expectation away because with that expectation would have come just more anger and more frustration of, why can't you just talk to me? Well, let me tell you why. And I told him I can't even make the effort to make those phone calls to you because subconsciously it will annoy you. And I don't want you to be annoyed. I know it's annoying that I call and then I have to hurry up and get off the phone. Then you don't hear from me for hours. So what I told him was, I'd love to be able to, at the end of both of our days, when you walk through the door, I put away all phones, all computers, all tablets, all work, and it is all focused on me and you and the children, of course, where we can talk about all of the things that we haven't talked about all day long, and we actually have something to communicate about. And so, because we were able to talk that process through, both of our expectations were on the same page. He's no longer expecting that I call and we talk all day long. And I'm not just expecting him to understand why, because we talked about it. So, in order for your effort to not become your partner's expectation, you can do a couple of things. The first thing is, like I said, make it very clear that this is an effort of whatever. You know what? I know that you had a long day yesterday. I know you were super tired. So I went out and I got this private chef to come in and cater this dinner. And they're going to do it for the next 3 weeks so that it takes the load off of both of us. We can just come home, relax, eat, and chill together. I gave a very specific timeline on this thing that I put together for us. And so the only thing that my partner is expecting is based on the facts that I just gave versus me just having the private chef come in for 3 weeks and then I stop. Because when I stop, my partner's going to think, okay, did I do something wrong? Why did you stop? Are you sending these meals to someone else? Do you hate me? Is there something going on? Again, those thoughts and memories start to create out of nowhere. So basically, what it boils down to is communication, transparency, and facts over feelings, which will be a room all in itself because we definitely got to talk about that, y'all. um, but this book, The 5 Characteristics of a Stimulating Relationship, check that out on Amazon. This is a really good relationship guide. And a lot of what I'm talking about is in that book, is some work, some activities in there as well. But we have to be very careful when we start to date, even when we're dating our husbands and wives. So even in marriage, 5, 10, 15, 25, 30 years in, we do have to be very, very conscious, not cautious, excuse me, conscious of the efforts that we put in. Um, they need to be communicated clearly. You know, if it's a surprise, that's of course going to be a one-off. I don't suspect that you'll be doing surprises like every week or something. Um, I know for like the first 3 to 5 years of my marriage, I would listen to things that my husband would say, and every once in a while, I didn't do it consistently on purpose. Every once in a while, if it was something that he talked about, I would go out, buy it, and I will put it in his drawer for him to find. This is a practice that even after 16 years in, that has not gone away. But he doesn't expect these gifts. He doesn't expect that every time he talks about a thing, I'm going to go out and buy it, because I made sure that it was sporadic. And when he found it, I just said, I know that that's something that would make you smile, and you haven't had it in a while, so I wanted to get it for you. I gave context behind it. We don't think about this in marriages and in relationships. We don't think about we need to have context around stuff. Context simply is communication. Just in somebody's office is context. We have to be better at communicating with our partners. We have to understand that they're not mind readers. We have to know that they don't just know what we mean just because. We have to start communicating. And if you do have an expectation, then say that. Don't just act on it, talk about it. If you're not a good communicator, write it down. One of the exercises that we do at the couples retreat that I have every year, which registration is open for that, by the way. It's called the Foods and Love Couples Retreat. One of the exercises is all about communication. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because it gets some unresolved things from a long time ago up and going. And you'd be surprised at how many times something has come up that one of the partners stopped doing that the other one was still expecting them to do. Another thing that I feel as though becomes an expectation in relationships, in marriages especially, is what it should be based on the outside world. And that's on both parties. So even if it's something that your partner really doesn't like, but because you've always been told that a wife should do or a husband should do, you start out doing the thing, and then you realize this doesn't work, and it doesn't work for me in this marriage, and so you just stop. Well, the other person now expects it, and because you didn't have a good rhyme or reason as to why you even began, you never gave context around it. So when you stop, again, the automatic thoughts of what's wrong with me? What did I do? Why are they mad? All Are you doing this for someone else? All of these assumptions start to swarm around, and it can absolutely throw a wrench in the relationship. So having those conversations, having that context around the things that you do, being okay with giving those efforts, but understanding that when you see that it's starting to become an expectation, that you're able to pull back and have a talk even surrounding that. I know it seems like every single time I come home, you expect me just to pick your dirty clothes off of the floor because I've never said anything about when you come in the house and you throw them at the door. I just picked them up. My effort, I put in effort by picking up your dirty clothes at the front door. I never said anything to you about it. I just did it. And so your expectation of me is to just pick those dirty clothes up. When in actuality, what I should have said was, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pick these clothes up, but moving forward, can you either throw your dirty clothes in the hamper or at minimum not leave it at the front door? Boom. Now we're both clear about this expectation. I expect you not to throw your shit at the door, and you should expect that I'm not going to pick your shit up at the door no more. That's pretty easy, right? I think so. So we have to get okay with opening up these lines of communication. And I'm talking about when you first get together. We don't need to wait 5, 10, 15 years in. During the dating phase is where this becomes extremely vital. When you're first learning each other, the only expectation that you should have in this entire world for yourself or for your partner is the expectation that they are going to be who they are. That's it. So when you learn who you married or who you're in this relationship with, and I'm not talking about this surface level, when you learn their intention, who they are to the core, their habits, all of that literally is in the first section of this book. There's an activity in the first section of this book that you go through and you learn all things. Knowing someone's favorite color is helpful. Knowing how someone was raised is helpful. Knowing that their mom did their laundry all of their life. And so the 3 weeks that you did it and then stopped, they're looking at you sideways. Now you understand why. You did it for 3 weeks. Their mom did it all their life. Well, now they're expecting you to do it because of your effort. So when you notice that effort starts to turn into expectation, put a pause on it, take a step back, have the conversation, clarify so that you and your partner are very clear and efforts do not become expectations, which, when stopped, can become a problem. So I thank you guys, as always, for joining me for our 9 o'clock Tuesday night room. You know, I'm going to be right back here next Tuesday night. And the one thing that I did not do, I totally forgot to do this before we started because I was so excited about this topic. I told you I love this topic. Is to remind you of all the things that's coming up. Couples, I have so much for you to do. If you are in the Richmond, Virginia, even DC, Maryland area, couples, the Mind Fucked Couples Sensual Touch class is this Saturday. We have 9 spots left in the 6 o'clock class, and we have 8 spots left in the 2 o'clock class. So get your tickets, reserve you and your partner's spot ASAP so you can be in the building on Saturday, either at 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. It is communicating without words. It is learning the power of touch. We're going to be walking through chakras. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff. That is this Saturday, November the 12th. You can just shoot me a message so that I can send you the ticket links, or you can just go to my page and you can just RSVP, or you can RSVP at 804-967-4551. Ladies, December the 3rd is She Flow, which is the ladies sensual touch class. It is all about you and unveiling all of this beautiful femininity and bringing it to the surface. Balance with your masculinity, because let's be real, you need the balance in order to be balanced. So that is December the 3rd, again, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. And then I did mention that we have the Fools in Love Couples Retreat. Registration is open right now. Only 5 couples. We only take 5 couples every year. It is in beautiful Williamsburg. Your all-inclusive stay ticket includes your stay, your meals. Literally, all you have to do is get to Williamsburg, Virginia. We take care of everything else. You don't have to do anything but show up. So that registration is open. Look for all of this is on Eventbrite, by the way. If you go to Eventbrite and you type in Coach K, CoachKay, you will find all of my events. So next week we are going to be talking about adding sexual enhancements. That's going to be fun. So we're talking about all kinds of stuff, down to medical procedures that can be done to enhance your sexual pleasure. So I'm really excited about that. Next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be talking about adding sexual enhancements to the bedroom. Don't forget, we have our 15 Days of Sex Challenge that kicks off November 15th. If you did the 30 Days of Intimacy Challenge, this is part 2. You know, the 30 Days of Intimacy Challenge was 30 days of 30 ways to express intimacy. None of them involve sex. Well, you worked hard. You've done that for a year. Here we go with part 2, 15 days of sex. Yes, literally 15 days of sex. You can text 15 days to 804-967-4551 to get yourself on that list. It is totally free to do. So all you have to do is just sign up and have fun. That is all I have for you. Thanks for all the love here on Instagram. I will catch you guys back here next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And definitely be looking out for our candid conversations where I bring Mr. Ford in with me. And I did pretty good with not being super annoyed by this. If you have not already, make sure y'all head over to YouTube and subscribe to my page, because eventually you won't see me here on Instagram or hear me here on Clubhouse. You will only find me on the YouTube. Yes, I'm putting the in front of everything, y'all. So I will catch y'all later. Don't forget to grab your copy of the 5 characteristics of a stimulating relationship on Amazon. 5 characteristics of a stimulating relationship. Get it on Amazon. You can get the ebook or the hard copy. Excuse me, softback book, whatever, paperback. That's it. Anyway, I will catch you guys next week. See you later, Justy. I'll see y'all later.